As it was said, my name is Sel, and I'm happy to share my story with you this morning. First, I'd like to share a family picture. It might show up there on the screen. If it doesn't, that's okay. But I wanted to share the picture because it seemed to me it was really symbolic of my journey. And, okay, there we go, on the big screen. Okay, so this is my brother's first birthday party. He's over there on the left, and I'm on the right there. I'm being consoled by my grandmother. And so, why am I having such a bad day? Let's just say I was not participating in the celebration for the younger brother. I was raised in a Cuban family that moved to the U.S. in the mid-1960s and settled in New York City. Like many Hispanic families, our religious upbringing was in the Catholic Church. My faith in these early years was that God exists and that you could ask Him for things. The top characteristics of my home life were that I was compliant on one hand, but continually arguing with my brother on the other. When there were manual tasks to be done, my mother would always ask me to do them. Throwing out the trash, mowing the lawn, raking the leaves, shoveling the snow, and I did them without complaining. I have a hard time recalling any time my brother did any of these things. And I thought to myself, I've got a lot of brownie points coming my way. But I always clashed with my brother. I liked the Mets. He liked the Yankees. He loved to talk and was loud. I didn't like to talk and was quiet. I wondered how my father could love me and my brother at the same time. Is it possible to like two opposite things at once? Can someone be, at the same time, both Mets fan and Yankees fan? I don't think so. As I grew up, I continued believing in God, but I did not really depend on Him. I only asked Him for things that I really wanted from time to time, and my faith was top secret. I didn't talk to anyone about it, as if God were a secret weapon. One time in middle school at summer camp, I prayed one night over and over, "Dear Jesus, help me to catch a largemouth bass." The next day at fishing, I hooked a heavy fish, and I knew this was it. But it got off the hook. The lesson I learned, my takeaway was this: if you really want to catch a bass, you have to pray more than 20 times. Was I religious? I had an opportunity to truly trust in God in college. I had been following my dream of living in the Rocky Mountains, studying fishery biology so that I could live an outdoor life of fishing all the time. I gave up on that dream when I realized that I couldn't have that career and also a wife and family. My brother, who became a Christian in Boston, invited me to church service at the New York City Church of Christ. I studied the Bible with Tom Gorenz and Mike Tolliver, and I saw with my own eyes what God was saying in the Bible. I learned the kind of things that cut a person off from God, sins like selfishness, lust, idolatry, hatred, and others, and I was guilty. I learned that thoughts and inaction could be sinful, not just visible deeds. My initial reaction was more or less, wow, I have all the guilt and none of the pleasure. This is a hard teaching. Should I walk away? To what? To where? I did not walk away, but that week I decided to get baptized, become a Christian, and change schools so that I could be part of the church. And Tom, who studied the Bible with me, was an example to me of what an older brother could be. I got the sense that he was always rooting for me, always wanting me to do well. And my own brother didn't get that sense from me. In my first years as a follower of Jesus, I grew in my Bible knowledge and in my activity, but I struggled to understand God's heart. That is, what He was really after. Consequently, I faded away from the church, was diagnosed with severe depression, and stopped reading my Bible and praying. I would say that having severe depression is like being swallowed by a sea monster. It's dark, it's sad, and it feels like there's no hope. Yet even in this lowest of lows, God held out hope for me. Ironically, my brother, who had helped me to become a Christian, shared with me sometime later that he was leaving and looking for another church. I thought, if my brother leaves and I stay away, then the truth of the gospel would go out for our family. I returned, studied the Bible, got restored, and I joined a spiritual recovery group. 2 years later, I married my wonderful wife, Anna. The lesson I learned, my takeaway, was this: that Jesus is the Messiah for the younger brother and the older brother, for the loud, and for the quiet. We can do the homework that Jesus gave us when he said, learn what these words mean. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. We can celebrate God's character that shows no favoritism, and we can celebrate with the younger brother. We can be in awe of the God who at the same time loves both the Yankees fan and the Mets fan. And we can say, as it is written in Psalm 118, that we will not die, but live and proclaim what the Lord has done. Amen. Thank you.